Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and it's Friday night, which means it's Friday night appointment with Fear. This week we are doing the Autopsy of Jane Doe, so be prepared for a bit of gruesomeness and all that. But let's hit the intro and then we'll get into the film. Right, I'm back. So, the Autopsy of Jane Doe. By the way, if you hear any noise behind me, we can't see a princess. She's sitting here behind me, just watching what's going on. So she'll probably start interrupting before long. She'll wonder what's going on. So, anyway, right, where were we? The Autopsy of Jane Doe. So let's do some information about it first before we start. It was directed by André Øvredal. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It's a Norwegian director. His previous film was the amazingly brilliant Troll Hunter, a found footage film. God. What's up with me? A found footage film about these people hunting trolls, about a group of students hunting trolls in Norway, and it's amazing, it's brilliant. You should seek it out and watch it, and it's great. So he did that. That was his previous film. Since, I think after this, he did Scary Things. I forgot to call it. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Is it that one? Is it that? I'll have to just double check that. The Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I think he did that after this. Yes, he did. Yes, this is from 2016. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is also very good. It was 2019. So there you go. So that's the director. It was written by Ian Goldberg and Richard Naing. Never heard of them before. It was actually filmed, although it's supposed to be set in the United States. It was filmed in Kent, in England, with a mostly British and Irish cast. Brian Cox is Scottish. Emile Hirsch is American. Ophelia Lovibond is English. Probably pronouncing that wrong. Michael McElhatton, probably pronouncing that wrong as well. He's Irish. And Jane Doe herself is Olwen Catherine Kelly, credited as Olwen Kelly. She's Irish, and probably the most amazing role in the film, but we'll get into that. Right, so let's get the film up. As usual, not watching it. We're not watching the film, and I had to go into the film and do quite a lot of editing, covering up cheeky parts, because you know what YouTube's like. So we'll just get into the film, we'll go through it, we'll go through the story. As best I can remember it, because I've just watched it again. Not taking any notes, as per usual. But anyway, here we go. So, there we go. A blank screen. That's interesting, isn't it? I think we go through about 80 million of these. Some films, they have loads, don't they, these production companies that are connected with them. I think this is about 4 or 5 of them. And, right, we're off. We're off and running. Right, produced and associated with Ingenious and loads of others. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I'm not exactly sure what we're seeing here. It's just dirt and things moving over it. I don't know what it was. I think it's supposed to be wind. But anyway, so the film begins. We see a house. There we go. A normal house in America somewhere. I think it's supposed to be somewhere like Georgia or somewhere like that. I think, one of the southern states. I think. It might tell us, but I've never noticed. And there we go. We find, hang on, let's go back in there. We find a family that's been massacred, or they've massacred each other. See, there's a gun there, and there's bodies all over. There's a policeman. This is the sheriff of the local town. It's a small town. I think it's supposed to be kind of in the middle of nowhere. This is the sheriff. What's his name? Sheriff Burke. That's it. Sheriff Sheldon Burke. So he's inspecting the carnage. There we are. There's all the sheriff's people, and is that the news there as well? Yes, it is. And they've tried to make it, as I said, it was filmed in Kent, and they've tried to make this Kent suburb look like the United States. They've stuck a basketball hoop up there. Anyway. So anyway, they go down into the basement. Loads of bodies upstairs. They go down to the basement and they find a body in the basement. In a moment. Hang on, have I missed it? I've gone too far. Come on, show us her. I'm going to have to play it, aren't I? Ooh, where are you going? Come on, you're going to show us. Anyway, there we go. That's all we're waiting for. They find this body in the basement, sort of like partially buried. Were they trying to bury her, or were they uncovering her? I don't know. Something happened. They all killed each other. But there she is. That's Olwen Kelly playing Jane Doe, and as you can see, she's perfectly clean, even though she's half buried in soil or something like clayey soil. Perfectly clean. But she's our Jane Doe. So we cut to the I forgot the name of it. Well, it doesn't say. Oh, typical. It'll say in a minute. This morgue and mortuary. Crematorium, that's the word. So anyway, we're seeing it from various angles. This mirror is important, as we'll see later on. Right, so we find Brian Cox, who plays Tommy. He's the head, I don't know, coroner, the head coroner, that's it. As I said, they're in the, Virginia, there we go, they're in Virginia, it says there, look. Oh dear, that's a nice thing to see, isn't it? Oh, there you go. Anyway, they find they're doing an autopsy on this body. As I said, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it's kind of a family affair, this coroner's office. But obviously, they know the stuff. It's not just a funeral home, but I suppose it kind of doubles as that in some ways. But anyway, they're doing an autopsy on this chap, this poor chap. There you go. And they find out, what do they find out about him? Yes, that he fell and banged his head, and I think then the house caught fire or something like that. But he actually died before the fire consumed him, because he fell and banged his head. So there we go. So that's just showing us that they know the jobs. This is Tommy, the father, played by Brian Cox, the great Brian Cox, Scottish actor. This is Emile Hirsch as his son, Austin. And Tommy obviously wants Austin to follow in his footsteps. But Austin doesn't want to do that. He's planning on leaving. We're a couple of years out from Tommy's wife, Austin's mum, passing away. It doesn't really tell us what happened to her, what was up with her. I suspect it might have been like cancer or depression or something like that. Something happened and overtook her quite quickly, and there was nothing Tommy could do, and she either just died or she took her own life. I don't know. It doesn't really explain it, to be honest. But he's very sad about it, but he keeps it bottled up. Emile tries to bring it out of him, but to no avail. I hope we're still going. We're still going, yes we are. Because it does get quite gruesome in places as this film, as you can see. I've done my best to cover some of the bits up, but obviously can't do it all the time. So anyway, so they're talking about stuff. Emile's got a date, not Emile, Austin's got a date, Emile's the actor. Austin's got a date with his girlfriend Emma. They're going to the cinema, they're going to watch a film, and so they're just finishing up here, and then he's going to go meet his girlfriend. But she preempts the matter, and she meets him there. So anyway, behave, you naughty girl. Oi! See, I told you, didn't I? Because I'm live, she's being naughty. Come on, oi! Get you. She wanted to go upstairs, and my son won't allow it. So she's scratching at the door. She's very naughty. Where were we? Right, so Tommy's going to get a breath of fresh air outside. Austin's just finishing up downstairs. Here we go, here he is up. There he is outside, this big old tree outside the house. I don't know if this is a house that they've built for the film or if it's a house that were there. I mean, it looks like an American house, but as I said, it was filmed in Kent in England, and we don't see many houses like that around in England. So I suspect it's a facade constructor for the film. I don't know the budget for this one, by the way. I can't imagine it was a great deal. But let's have a look, shall we? Let's type it in and see what it says, because Google's usually good at stuff like this. Right, we'll type it in. Autopsy of Jane Doe Budget. And it sells us between $1 and $2 million, which is not a lot, is it? But there you go. And it was fully funded up front by IM Global. I think that's the company that's owned by I forgot his name. The fellow that did Paranormal Activity. Him anyway, yeah, him. So there you go. Between 1 and 2 million, so it's a very low budget film. I mean, I won't mind $1 or $2 million, but to make a film. Not that I can make films, but anyway. So it is low budget. But most of the money probably went on the cast. Anyway, he's having a cigarette. Is Tommy outside, getting a bit of fresh air. Austin's finishing off in here. These are the Frigerinos. They've got 3 bodies in there today, apparently. Anyway, so he's just heading out, and something gets his attention. And behave, you naughty. Behave. I'm going to get you. Just bear with me a moment. Don't make me shut your kitchen. I will. You've been naughty, you. Right, come on then. Go on then, in here. Cheeky monkey. Hey, dear. Hey, live streaming, eh? Live streaming. I've shut her in the kitchen, so she'll probably start scratching on that door next, but we'll see. Where were we? Right, something catches his attention. That's what we were doing, and there you go. We get his first jump scare of the film. His girlfriend Emma sneaks up behind him, makes him jump. English actress, but she puts on a decent American accent, as they all do. Although the sheriff does sound a little bit like Liam Neeson, but he's an Irish actor anyway. So anyway, so. She's come down in the elevator. They've got an elevator, or a lift, as we'd call it here. And she said the key was still in it, so she's come down. Apparently, it's the first time she's been here. She's never seen where he works. So she's curious, so she wants to go have a look round. Anyway, she goes in here where the refrigerators are. And she wants to look at her body. And Austin says, there's some things you can't unsee. So, he doesn't want her to see that. He's a sensible lad. He's Austin. He's a sensible lad. And he says, but his dad, is a bit strict. He won't let her see anything. And then his dad walks in and says, try me. So until they let her see her body, so she picks her fridge. And so they open one up. And it's an old lady that's in there. I can't remember what it's, methicillin or something. Don't ask me what that is. I don't know. I get a lot of emails about it for some reason. I don't know why, but about research. I think it's methicillin, something like that. But anyway, but she says she didn't want to see that. She wanted to see the fridge next to it, and that's a fella that died of a gunshot wound. And we noticed that, and he takes that one out. There's a bell attached to the leg of this body, which we're not seeing because you know what it's like. But she wants to have a look. Anyway, we see the head. Let's go back a little bit, see if it shows it. There we go. There we go. We see the. Oops, press wrong button. You have to make do with that. The head's got a covering over it, but as you can see, there's a bit of a depression there, lots of blood, so it's a gunshot wound. And then we see the leg with the bell attached. And Tommy tells us that in the olden days, when medical things weren't quite as sophisticated as they are now, sometimes they brought people in that weren't quite dead. So they used to put a bell around their ankles like that. And if they got up and started walking about, they'd hear the bell and somebody would come and see to them. That's what that's for. And she said, well, why do you do it? He says, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. But I think this is the only... Yeah, I don't think all the bodies have bells on. And maybe some have whistles, I don't know. But I think just this one, with the fellow with the shotgun blast to the face, has a bell. Right, so we'll keep on going. There she is. She wants to have a look under the face that's been blown away by a shotgun. She's about to have a look, and then Tommy has a bit of a laugh at her expense. He makes the bell ring and makes a jump, which is our second jump scare in a moment. Oh, there we go. She's going to have a look now there. And the bell rings. And they all have a laugh. So anyway, they set off out. So they're going to the pictures. Tommy's going to do whatever he's going to do. There they go. Young love. Anyway, they get to the elevator. But the sheriff arrives with Jane Doe's body. And looking very serious. And Austin obviously thinks, knows something's up. And Tommy calls down the corridor, says, bring her down here. And Austin says, well, his dad, by the way, Tommy tells Austin, you go have fun. And he said, I'll deal with this. So they set off. But then Austin says, I can't leave my dad. And then Emma reminds him that he's supposed to be leaving. Presumably with her. I think they're supposed to be running away somewhere. And he's supposed to tell his dad, but he hasn't done. He doesn't want to leave his dad in the lurch. But anyway. So he says, Austin says, go on, I can't leave him. You go on and come back at 11 o'clock. And then we'll catch the midnight showing. And then, and all. And everything will be super here. So he says, okay then, because I love you. So she goes. Remember, she's coming back at 11 o'clock. I think it's round about 9 o'clock-ish now, or 9:30, something like that. So there's a couple of hours. Yeah, it must be summer, by the way, because it's still light outside, and it's at 9 o'clock at night. But anyway, so they're going. Well, she's going. There we go. Tilden, that's the name of it. Tilden Morgue and Crematorium, and also Pathology Lab. Coroner's office. As I said, I think it's supposed to be in the middle of nowhere. In a big city, they'd have a proper lab, wouldn't there? And coroner's office and pathology department and all that. But here, it's in somebody's house. It's, as I said, it's a family affair. So anyway, Emma buggers off, but she comes back at 11 o'clock, as we'll see later on. Here we go. We get another look at Jane. They open her up. We never find out her real name, by the way. So they open her up, and then they found her, buried. And the sheriff says he wants the autopsy done, by morning. He wants, answers as quick as he can. So they've got to get on with it. There we go. We had a quick look at some photos of the family that they found dead. There's Jane in her body bag. By the way, there we go. Olwen Kelly, I think she's Irish. She was a model. She might have been a dancer, I'm not sure. I did look her up, but she was a model. But she also practiced yoga, which helped with her staying still for so long. She does, because obviously she's supposed to be a dead body, and she does stay still for a long time, and it helped. Doing yoga helped with her breathing and stuff, and or lack of breathing. And staying perfectly, dead still. But I also assume there's other tricks used to make her look as though she'd passed away. And apparently on set, she kept everybody, at ease, because she's lying there naked for all of the film. She never has any clothes on, apart from a body bag. But she kept everybody, at ease and and comfortable, because she's, as I said, she's a model. She's posed nude quite a lot, apparently. So she's confident with her body. By the way, speaking of being nude in films, remember a while ago we did Life Force, which had Matilda May in it, who was nude for the first part of the film. And Olwyn in this film is obviously nude, and she actually does look a little bit, to me, she gives me a lot of Matilda May vibes. She does look a lot like Matilda May, of the the long dark hair and and all that. Anyway, so the autopsy in a moment, when the sheriff sods off. Then we've got Austin's come down to help his dad. So they're gonna make a start, get on with it. So there the sheriff goes, and then I think we start hearing thunder rumbling. It might be with the first cut, actually, or the first, whatever. There we go. Trust me to pause it right there on the bit where you see everything. Typical. Right, look. So I've put squares where necessary. As you can see, they're recording everything. This is supposed to be footage from a camera. They're recording everything, and they say, Autopsy of Jane Doe, beginning on da-da-da-da-da. It says he's the head coroner or whatever, county coroner, Tommy, I forgot the name already, is it Tilden? And assisted by certified medical technician, Austin Tilden. So anyway, so they're getting ready with the blackboard. So they do the initial inspections. He's taking photographs. The body's perfectly clean. Apart from her fingernails, she's got peat and stuff under her fingernails. There we go, he's taking photos. There's no external signs of injury. She's no blemishes or marks or anything. As I say, she's perfect. Pretty much. There he's carrying on taking photos. There she is. She's very lovely, by the way, is Olwyn Kelly. Very, what's the word? Good bone structure. That's what I'm thinking of. Right. Anyway, I think he notices something. There, but it sees her eyes are all milky. And Tommy says, you don't usually see that unless a body's been, there dead for, several days. But she has no rigor mortis, no lividity. They can move her about and stuff. It's like she's just died, but she's cold. But he says, it could be where they found her that's caused that. The conditions in that cellar. So they're doing the inspections, as they can see there. They go. They're testing the joint. So there's no rigor mortis and all that. They notice that her waist is very, very narrow, which they find later on was caused by a corset. And so did they go out of fashion a couple of 100 years ago? So she wore a corset when she was alive, which narrowed her waist. And this is where they found the peat. That is making his notes on the blackboard. Notice that her ankles and her wrists are fractured. But there's no external signs of that. The bones are broken, described as shattered. So they see that. That's where they find the peat under the fingernails. And the peat is from up north. So they found out that she's from New England. There you go. They find it in the hair as well. So they take samples and stuff. What else? What else do they do? They found that you could just see it there. See it in the thumbnail as well. A tongue has been cut out, and Austin suggests that she might have bit it, but Tommy says no. As you can see, the striations it's been cut out, and at first they think it might be some sort of prostitution, abuse. Like a prostitution ring, and he says he's seen it before where they bind the hands and the feet and cut out the tongue so they don't cry out. You still cry out, can't you, when you've no tongue, but it's not as easy to talk, is it? But you still make noises. So they're thinking it could be something to do with that. This is part of a prostitution ring, but they soon start noticing other things that are wrong. So there it goes. And there we go. A nose starts bleeding, and then a fly comes out. There you go. Out it comes, and flies away, and goes into the fly buzzer thing. Bzz, there we go. That's the end of that fly. But it doesn't explain why that fly were there. What were it doing in there? I don't know. But it's just something I think to make us go, ooh. And Tommy notices something in her throat, and he pulls out a long piece of string. There we go. So what's she got a piece of string down her throat for? We find out later. Right, what do they do next? Oh, crikey, I missed one there, didn't I? Oh, that were close. Tell you, I did my best. I went through it as best I could, covering up cheeky bits. Better make sure we're still going, aren't I? Because YouTube's a stickler for stuff like that. Oh, I just saw it there. I think we're safe for now. Right, where were we? See, I've missed another one. I've missed. Right, so it's Tommy's checking her lady parts for signs of abuse down there. Obviously, Austin's not comfortable with this part. He doesn't like looking. But there is damage down there as well, apparently. But they don't dwell on it. We keep looking at her. She's perfectly still. Anyway, he sits to one side while Tommy does this. What next? What are they doing? Right, they're starting with the autopsy proper now. The old Y incision. So they're going to start doing this. So they open it up. The radio just comes to life, and we start hearing news reports about there being a big storm coming and floods, and then this old song starts playing, like the sun shining, like the sun shining, and all that. So that's a bit weird for them. But Austin goes and sorts the radio out as Tommy starts cutting into. I think this might be where we hear the thunder when the first incision occurs. But as he cuts in, all this blood starts coming out, and Austin says, "Is that supposed to happen?" And Tommy says, "Well, no, not really. He's seen it happen with bodies that were just only just died, but not one that had been dead for some time. But he says it could happen. There could be pressure inside that's causing that. But as I said, it's more weird stuff." What they're doing next? Austin puts a blood sample in the fridge, and then something weird happens in the fridge. A lot of things never get explained in this, by the way. It's just weird stuff happens without explanation, which I think is supposed to be. I think that's deliberate. We're not supposed to know why some of these things are happening. They just are, and it's supposed to be weird and scary. Anyway, they notice that she seems to have there's marks in her skin, and it looks like she's been burnt. They open her up, and they check her lungs, and the lungs are all like scorched. And he says, "Was she a smoker?" And Tommy says, she could smoke 10 packs of cigs a day for 30 years, and the lungs had never been like that. They've been, burned. There we go. Austin sees that the blood in the fridge has all started coming out for some weird reason, and don't know why, but I think this is all. I think it's because of Jane Doe's blood has affected all the other blood in the fridge. So he's got to clean that up now. It's always something, isn't there? Anyway, hello Joshua. Sorry I'm late. Well, you don't need only half an hour late. We're not really very far into it. Right, what they're doing next? Right, I think he's going to open up a chest. There we go. He's got his rib cutters. So what am I laughing for? I don't know. So he opens her up, and this is where they check her lungs, and they find that there you go. You see them there. That they're all burnt. So they don't understand that, and they found like scorching as well under her skin as well. So it's like she's been burnt. And they go to take her heart out, and she's got her internal organs all seem to have injuries, as though they've been stabbed, but she's no external injuries, so they don't understand that. So he goes like scar tissue on all her internal organs. So that's a weird thing. There you go. That was her. There you go. That's her lungs all burned. They don't understand why, how that's happened. And then all the lights go out. Well, in a minute, I think. Well, some of them did. Having power problems because of the storm. So Austin's going to check on something, leaving his dad in the morgue. So I think this is where Austin first sees something weird in the mirror. See the mirror at the end of the hall there, but not yet. Now we see Jane Doe all opened up. Then we're noticing, can you see that? I've got, there's weird markings here under the skin, and we find more about that later on. This is Austin. Oh, he hears a noise from this room, so he goes to check it out. Tommy accidentally cuts himself. I don't know what on. It might have been on one of her ribs or something. I don't know, but he cuts his wrist, so he has to deal with that. There he goes. As he's seeing to himself, he hears a noise in the vents, and Austin checks out this vent here in this other room, ends up falling on his ass. And I mean, there you go, ends up on his bum. And his dad comes in and says, "What are you doing?" So I heard the noise in the vent, and they find it's the cat. We saw the cat earlier on, by the way, and it had caught a rat, so that, you know, it was alive and well was the cat, but now apparently it's something's got the cat, and we don't know what. Have you covered Event Horizon? No, I haven't done Event Horizon yet. It's on the list. It'll be done eventually. That's a good film. If you hear any meowing, my cat's in the kitchen. She wants to come in. She's not allowed. Behave yourself. She's meowing away. Hey. Anyway, finds the cat. Something's happened to it. It's all injured. It's dying, and Tommy, is forced to, dispatches the cat. So there we go. That's quite sad. Apparently, it was the last thing of his wife's that he had left. It was her cat, and it was the last thing left of hers. And now it's gone, so it's all very sad. So they take the cat away. I think they stick it in the furnace that they've got. Remember, it's a crematorium. They've got a furnace down there. So yeah, that's what they do there. So they've got 9:45. It's 9:45. Remember, Emma's coming back at 11. Another fly on Jane Doe's eye this time. That's giving me Westworld vibes. Remember when that started and we saw, I forgot her name, her in Westworld, and she starts with a fly on her eye, doesn't she? And then it flies off and she is activated. But anyway, that's that. Right, what next? The fridge doors open. As I say, it's all very spooky. What they're doing open. She's up to no good in there, this princess. I can hear her doing stuff in that kitchen. It's very naughty. Hey. Anyway, where were we? Right, so the fridge doors are open by themselves, mysteriously, so it goes and closes them. Right, they've got to carry on with the autopsy now. Now that, there we go, nice blank thing. I had to cover all that up because that's showing all Jane Doe's internal organs, and I thought, YouTube won't like that. So, there you go. I think I'm safe there, but I'm not sure. You never know, do you? So anyway, so they're still checking on stuff and all their insides and all that. And I think they're talking here about Austin's, telling Tom he can talk to him about his mum who had passed away 2 years earlier, and he says, I'm fine. So they carry on. What next? Right, they're checking her intestine, see see if there's any food in her digestive system, and they find, there you go, a plant. I thought it was a fish at first, but it turns out it's a plant, a flower, and apparently it's a paralysing agent that's found in the northeast. But if you look on IMDb, it says it's from Mexico, but I don't know. But it's a paralysing agent, so they forced her to eat this to paralyse her. And then they go and they find something else. It was looking up. There we go. Jimson weed. So they go and then they find something else in there in a moment. A little bag with a tooth in it. They open it up. And there goes a tooth. By the way, they'd noticed earlier that she had a molar missing. So this is hers. This is her molar. So they wrapped her molar in that little cloth with that some sort of sigil on it, and made her swallow it. So there you go. So they have a look at that. There's Roman numerals on it and letters and stuff, and then they find out later on what it means. And it's a Bible verse, but they don't find out just yet. There you go, he writes the Roman numerals down. He sees that the strand of fibre that Tommy found earlier, I think it's the same. There you go, he notes the tooth is her tooth, so they took her tooth out, forced her to swallow it. Basically, she's been tortured, basically. Right, so what next? This is what that Jimson weed does. Blocks the neurotransmitters, or whatever. So what next? The radio starts playing, more news about the storm, quote storm. But they're baffled as to what's happening with this young woman who's got all these weird stuff going on, and they can't fathom it out. But then Tommy notices something here, and we're gonna they open her up now. That's all I can show. They pull her skin back, and they see on the inside of her skin she's got the same sort of markings that were on that little cloth, like magical symbols or sigils or whatever. Don't know if it's supposed to be tattoos. It doesn't explain how it got there, by the way. But that's all there. There you go. So I think that's safe because it's pretty random, isn't it? It could be anything. But there you go. What next? Oh, wow, all the lights have gone out suddenly. And the lights exploded as well. So I'm wondering what's going on. Then all the fridge doors have opened, look. So Tommy says, let's get the F out of here. So they start heading out. They head back to the elevator, and the emergency generator comes on, giving them a bit of light, but it didn't enough power for the elevator to come down. So they decide to go up the stairs to there's a door, like a cellar door sort of thing, like they have in America, which is how Tommy got out earlier on when he went to have his cig. But the car is blocked. It says, though, the big tree's fallen down. The big tree that were outside, it's fallen down and blocked the entrance to the cellar, so they can't get out. And I think that bit there, I think Emil, I keep calling him Emil, that's the name of the actor. Austin keeps hearing, that tinkling of a bell. Remember the bell on the corpse? Keeps hearing that. But they can't get out. The way out's blocked. They've no signal, so they decide to go to the landline. And is this? Do we see? No, we don't see it yet. Shush! She's meowing like mad in there. Is that cat? It gets through to the sheriff. There's Tommy. He gets through to the sheriff, but it's a bad connection. The cat here says, "Well, come and help. We're trapped down here. The tree's blown down and blocked the entrance and all that." So, but then they get cut off. So I think, well, what we're going to do? He says, well, they'll send help. So they've just got to wait now. But then they hear the tinkling again of the bell. And by the way, they've locked themselves in this room. This is Tommy's office. And they hear the noise, and they pull a filing cabinet. I think he looks underneath. There we go. We see, a bare foot with a toe tag on outside. So obviously the dead bodies are walking about now. I don't know how, but they are. So they pull the filing cabinet in front of the door, as you would. Shush! Behave yourself. So obviously they're terrified. And anyway, so Tommy goes into there's like a shower area in his office, and I remember he's hurt his wrist. He's going to check on that, but then he sees something in the shower stall, and Austin looks, and then he sees like a shadow. We're going to see it. We see a shadow. Oh, not going to see. We see a shadow, and then Tommy's dragged backwards, and I think he bashes his head on a mirror, and he's injured, and he's got all like, I think he's got like broken ribs and stuff like that, and then the door to the office is burst open, so there he goes, treating his dad. He's got a cut on his head. So Tommy's getting more and more injured, by the way, as the film goes on, and. Because remember, it was him that performed the autopsy, essentially. There's the face covering for the body that had the shotgun blast to the face. So still don't know why they're walking about these bodies. It doesn't explain it. It's just to be spooky, I suppose. I think the elevator coming down. Then I think that's what happens here. I think we're just seeing. The spookiness of it all. No, the elevator hasn't come down. They've gone back. I think they decided to go and find out what killed her. Yes, it is very tense and moody. And I'm not doing it justice. So they decided they've got to try and find out, what killed her. There you go. I think he covers her up a bit, and oh no, they're gonna burn her. That's it. See, I want to just watch this film. They're gonna burn her in the incinerator, just to get rid of her once and for all. And they're about to do that, but then the door locks itself. So then Austin, there you go. He gets an axe out, tries to break down the door. I don't know why don't you just smash that little window if he wants to reach down to get to the lock, if there's a lock outside, I don't know. But he decides to hack away like Jack Nicholson in The Shining at the door. Just makes a little opening for him to see, and then we see a scary face at the... I'm not going to show it, is it? See if I can get onto it. I bet I can't. There you go. That's the woman that died of methicillin or whatever it was called. And there she is. Obviously, not quite as dead as she was. So Austin says, "F it." He grabs something flammable, pours it all over Jane Doe's body, and they set fire to it. Set her on fire. But obviously that doesn't go well, because the fire spreads quickly and starts, setting everything else on fire. So everything burns except Jane Doe. It's trying to put it out with a fire extinguisher, but it kind of goes out by itself. And Jane Doe's completely unburned. There you go. So what they're going to do. And I think this is where they hear the elevator come down. There you go. He's got the axe. Remember. The elevator comes down, and they get in it, and it starts going. But then, there we go. One of the bodies in the mirror, the dead body's walking about, and it's heading for them. We can hear the bell tinkling, getting closer and closer. And they wait for the elevator to come, and here we go. Look, it's all very scary. Anyway, the elevator arrives and they get in, and it sets off and then stops, and they can't shut the door properly anyway. But then Tommy just uses the axe and just hacks at the fellow with the mashed-in face. But then they find out it actually wasn't that. It was Emma. Emma had come back. How had she got in? I don't know. But Tommy's just killed her with an axe. So Austin's not very happy about that, as you see. But he don't blame Tommy because it was an accident, because he saw the dead body as well. But somehow it became Emma. So she has expired, which is very sad for Austin and for Emma. So they get back in the elevator, and I say it goes up a little bit and then stops, and so I think they're trapped there, and his injuries are getting worse all the time. I think as his injuries are getting worse, Jane Doe's kind of healing slightly inside, even though she's all opened up. But I think she does get better by the end. But anyway, they're in the elevator. Behave, princess. So I'll go let Cat in, eh? I'll go let Cat in. Just bear with me. She's been there very naughty. Come on, you. You're going to behave, eh? Yes, you're being cheeky, aren't you? Eh? You're not going upstairs. Aidan will play pop with you. I don't know. See, in my leather jacket, and you've seen me lounge pants. Right, where were we? Right, they're trapped in the elevator and thinking, what can they do? And this is where I think they decide that to try and find out what killed her. So they go back in. I think all the lights just come back on. I don't know why. The furnace starts up and it starts filling with kind of spooky smoke. It obviously looks CG and not very good. Yes, she's not a good kitty. She's cheeky, aren't you? What are you looking at? You see shadows on the curtains. Hey. Where were we? We see this spooky smoke start coming round. There you go. Like, it's very CG smoke, that, isn't it? It's I don't know what it's supposed to represent. Spirits, whatever. So this, I think they decide. There you go. They decide to go and suss out what's going on with Jane Doe once and for all. So that's what they do. They're going to this smoke comes down the corridor, and then the dead bodies drag off Tommy and punish him a bit more, as you see. And I think there you go. I think we see one of the man with the bell on his ankle heading towards us. Then he just disappears. There we go. Just fades away like that. I think a lot of it's in their heads. I don't think a lot of it's actually happening. But I think Emma's really dead. I think. Yes, she is, because we see her later on. Anyway, so they're going to see what they can do. I think here, right, they're going to check her brain. That's it. They're going to, so they open up. Not content with opening up every other part of her. They're going to check her brain now, but this is where they make a horrific discovery. So they open her up. There you go. Get the old bone saw out and check her brain out. I don't think is it that easy to open up her head? I don't know, but there you go. They take a sample of her brain. It just reminded me of Faulty Towers, where he goes, "Is this a piece of your brain?" Just do that. So they go and check it. Told Austin goes to the microscope, and he calls his dad over, and it's still living tissue, as you shows it there. It's stuff still moving about. Look, it's all still alive. So it said, no wonder we couldn't find a cause of death. She's still alive. Oh my goodness. So it's like she's be alive. We've taken her heart out and they've opened up her head and everything. But somehow she is still alive. and apparently she feels everything that they're doing to her. So they, I think this is where he finds out. There you go. He gets that little cloth thing with all the symbols on. This is where he finds out that it's like a code, and he folds up the cloth, and he finds out it's a Bible verse. And this is where we find out that she was a witch, and we find out that she was from 1693, because there's a date on it as well. She's from 1693, and in the northeast of the United States. It's obviously Salem. So, but Tommy says, I think quite rightly, that there were no witches in Salem. They were just, kids that accused each other of being witches, but none of them were witches really. He comes up with the notion, does Tommy, that obviously there were no witches, but if she were innocent, Jane Doe, if they did all this to her and tortured her, did they actually create, what they set out to destroy? So she's more of a vengeful spirit, I suppose, than a real witch. But anyway, but that doesn't explain how she got all this stuff, symbols on the inside of her skin and all that. I don't know. As I said, there's a lot left unexplained in this film. There you go, showing the Bible verse, saying that any man who communes with the dead shall be a witch or whatever. This is when they find out that she was innocent, and they've tortured her, and so she's like an eternal living hell. But he says, how did she end up here? I don't know. They buried her as far away as possible from New England. So they buried in Virginia. It's not exactly as far away as possible, is it? But never mind. Then what happens? I think then Tommy decides Emil goes. Not Emil. I keep calling him Emil. Austin goes to do something, but I can't remember what. This is where the sussing out, what's happened to her, and that they've created what they set out to destroy. He's showing his injuries are getting worse, and I think she's probably getting better inside, but they don't show it. But that's his realisation that she's hurting them, or him in particular, because of what they've done to her. So Austin goes off and does something. I can't remember what. I can't remember what he's doing. But we'll see in a minute. You're being naughty, you aren't you? I'm going to get you. Hey, come on. Behave yourself. Any day of the week I could do this, and it won't matter. But now, because I'm doing a live thing, you're being naughty, aren't you? Jeez. Anyway. Yes, I can hear you. She wants to go upstairs, but my son's busy. He's probably playing a game, and he don't want to be disturbed, so she's got to stay down here with me. I don't know. Behave yourself. Come on, oi. Come on, oi. Yes, I know, you're fed up. Never mind. I'm going to get you. Come on, over there. Why don't you go sit in front of the fire or something, eh? I'm going to show you off. Yeah, come on. Right, go on, I'll let you go upstairs. Right, come on, off you go. Go on. Right, something. Let her go upstairs. Now I'll hear my son going, Dad, you've let Princess upstairs. She's getting on my nerves. The joys of live streaming. Anyway, where were we? In the end, Tommy kind of whispers to Jane that don't hurt Austin, and she won't fight him. I think he realises what's going on. And he says, I won't fight you, but don't hurt Austin. Yeah, this is what he's doing here. So she must agree to it, because then Tommy starts having all these injuries appearing on him, and as they appear on him, his wrists suddenly shatter, and his ankles, and she starts healing up now. Her ankles get better, and obviously all her internal organs must start growing back. Her eyes go back to normal. His eyes go cloudy. But then later on we see her with cloudy eyes again. I don't know. I don't know that. Anyway, he notices there we go. He notices there you go. A scalpel there on the floor, and he begs Austin to end his suffering, which he does. He kills his own dad. So it's all very tragic. There you go. She's got normal eyes now. Look. So that's the end of Tommy Tilden. I think I've got that right. That's the end of him, and then Austin hears voices and banging, and he hears the sheriff's voice, and in a minute, as he has a moment with his dad, then the radio starts, saying the storm's passing and all that. And he hears the sheriff's voice, and he goes to the cellar door, up the stairs to the cellar door, and the sheriff's saying, we're cutting through the tree that's fallen. Push. He says, I can't. Nothing's happening. He says, you've got to push. And then the sheriff's voice starts singing that weird old song, "Let the sun shine in." He starts singing that, and Austin thinks, what's going on here? That's weird. And then he steps back, and we notice that the banister there is all rickety and fragile. And then he looks down, he hears the tinkling again, and he looks down, but then as he looks back, let's see, I've gone too far. As he looks back, his dad stood there, and he goes, crikey, and then he falls to his doom. And then obviously his dad's not there anymore, because it's all in the mind. So that's the end of Austin. So they're all dead. Just like in the house at the beginning, everybody were dead, but they all kind of shot each other. But here they've gone in other ways. So then next morning, I don't know, that's not the tree, is it? I think the tree hasn't fallen. We hear on the radio saying it's the 4th day of sun, so there wasn't a storm at all. It was all an illusion. The tree never fell. But the sheriffs arrived, and they find all these dead bodies there. They find Austin's dead. They find Emma's body, I think. See, what's gone on in here is obviously he's reminded of the house at the beginning, because they thought they found out of the house at the beginning that all the damage to the house was as though they were trying to get out, but not like somebody were trying to break in. They were trying to get out, and it's similar sorts of things going on here, aren't it? There they find Tommy's body. They think, well, obviously they're thinking Austin's killed Tommy. Something's gone on, but they don't know what. Obviously Emma's been killed. I think they see Emma's body. I'm sure Emma's body's still there. I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can see. I'm sure we see Emma's body. Let's carry on. Let's just play it through a bit, because if I do these jump things, it misses bits out. You've got to play, got to hit play, and then you get copyright strikes. Hey, come on, let's see if Emma's body's still there. Or was that an illusion as well? I don't think it was. No, because I think that fella there's checking out Emma's body. I think. This is the bathroom in it that Tommy were attacked in. By the mysterious shadow figure in the bathroom shower stall. Yeah, he's checking that. No, it hasn't showed Emma, has it? But I'm sure we saw a chap early. Let's have a look. It's got me wondering now. It's got me wondering. In sunny Kent, where they are. No, it's not going to show it, is it? Not going to show it. But I'm sure we saw like a forensic person in the background checking something on the floor, and I think that was Emma's body. I think, by the elevator door. I think. There, you can see him there. Look, but it don't actually. Can we see? Is it there? Is it there? I don't know. See, it cuts away just as you're going to see. So you know what? I'm not entirely sure that Emma's dead. It might have been an illusion. It might have been an illusion. But we'll. I'll keep hitting play and pausing it again. Oh, see, I've got a copyright strike. I've just bloody noticed. Oh. We've detected copyrighted audio. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. I think we're all right, though. I think we're still going, aren't we? Yeah. I'd better stop doing that, hadn't I? I'd better stop doing that. So we'll go back to stills. Anyway, so they're wondering what's gone on here. Everybody's dead. But they find Jane Doe's body's there, completely unblemished. So obviously all the autopsy and stuff that they did, it's all gone back to normal. There's the radio is telling about, there's been 4 days of sunshine, and it's, are we going to get more sunshine? There was never a storm. The bodies are back in the refrigerators. This is where they're seeing. There's Jane, looking perfectly normal, but her eyes have gone cloudy again, which I don't understand. Anyway, it says, well, take her. He wants the body out of his jurisdiction. They're going to take her, somewhere else, the city or whatever, I don't know. They're going to get her out of there because he obviously thinks there's something spooky going on. So this chap comes and covers her up, and they take her out in the ambulance or whatever, the coroner's van, and they take her away. But then the driver here puts his radio on. We hear that spooky song. Yeah, another strike. I think we might have got away with it, though. I think we might have got away with it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It just says it may be temporarily blocked, but I don't think we have been. But we'll see how we go on anyway. This happened last week as well, and everything ended up all right, but never mind. Where were we? Right, so here we go. We see her there with the cloudy eyes. I don't know why her eyes haven't gone back to brown. I don't know, but anyway. Then we go down to her feet, and then we see her foot, and then we hear a tinkle, and her toe moves. Can we see it? It said Jane Doe on there. Yes, it does say Jane Doe on there. Unknown and all that. But the creepy song's playing, and then we hear the bell tinkle, and there you go. Her toe moves. So could there be the Autopsy of Jane Doe 2? And there we go. Directed by André Øvredal. I don't know how you pronounce it. And that's the end. So could there be a Autopsy of Jane Doe 2, or The Return of Jane Doe, because she's obviously, she's alive and she's moving. But I do think she moves a little bit in the film. I think, the show was her mouth open, and I think there is slight changes in her. I mean, it might be accidental, I don't know, but slight changes in her expressions, slight changes. Or, the corners of her mouth, stuff like that. Or I could just be imagining it. But anyway, but we'll leave it there. It's a great. I really enjoy that film. It's a short film as well, like 1 hour and 26, which is what they should be. You don't want them dragging on and on, do you? It gets it over with, doesn't it? And it's a good creepy film with some good, gory practical effects and some chills, and it's that's what we want, innit, on a Friday night. We want some chills and maybe the occasional thrill. Like I said, there aren't too many jump scares in it. There's 1 or 2, but not too many. And he's a good director, old André Øvredal. Like I say, look up Troll Hunter. It's really good. What's that? I saw similar things with her face. Yeah, I was thinking that. I think does her face change slightly, but anyway. But we'll leave it there. I'll get rid of that. But yeah, it's a really good film. I really enjoy it, and I won't be surprised. I mean, it's been what's it been, 6 years since it came out, so the chances of a sequel are pretty slim. I don't know how well it did at the cinema. Shall we check? Shall we check and see how well it did? Autopsy of Jane Doe. I'll put box office and see how well it did. So I don't actually know. It made $6 million according to that at the box office, which is pretty good for a $1 or $2 million film. But it could have done better. It's not a lot, is it? That really. Box Office Mojo. Let's have a look. See what that says. Yeah, crag! It didn't make a lot. Domestic in America, $10,000, but international over $6 million. That's weird, isn't it? Pardon me. But there you go. There you go. Can't have everything, can you? So I don't think they'll be doing a sequel. It's a rated R film. Anyway, we'll leave it there. So anyway, what's that? Want a sequel to Troll Hunter? Well, they've just done that film Troll Hunter on Netflix, which some people are saying is kind of a spiritual sequel to Troll Hunter. But I think Troll Hunter's better myself. But Troll Hunter's great. I love that film. I was blown away when I first saw it because I went in cold. I just heard this film Troll Hunter were out, and I like found footage films. So I thought, I'll give it a go. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. One of the best found footage films I've ever seen. That and Cloverfield. I love Cloverfield as well. But anyway, that's it. So, the Autopsy of Jane Doe gets a thumbs up from me because it's brilliant. It's really scary and it's really gory. When there aren't black boxes covering the bits up, and Olwen Kelly is very enigmatic, but she's obviously a beautiful young woman, but playing a dead body role for the whole film. Or not really a dead body, but the appearance of a dead body. Anyway, we'll leave it there. So I've got to go now and see to that cat and see what she's up to. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I was going to do... hang on, what's that? See, I keep missing these messages from Joshua. Oh, good stuff, thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for watching. It's brilliant. I was thinking of doing a double bill because I'm doing an A to Z of Christmas films. It's Christmas. If you're watching this in the middle of the year, it's Christmas when I'm recording this. And I'm doing an A to Z of Christmas films, and we're on P right now. And we're going to watch P2, that like a horror thriller starring the lovely Rachel Nichols. And we're going to watch that. And I was thinking of doing a double bill, but I thought that would be a bit much. I might do P2 next week. We'll see, because that's a good film. Is that with Rachel Nichols and I forgot his name, somebody else. But anyway, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, and thanks Joshua for stopping by. We had another couple of people as well. I think we got up to 3 viewers at one point, which is good going. So we'll leave it there. So wherever you are on this dark and cold winter's night, look after each other, don't have nightmares, and until next time, I'll see thee.